Welcome to Logical Reasoning, the instructional portion for week 2 of this 5-week course in Geometric Basics and Logical Reasoning. In today's unit, what we will mainly focus on is logical reasoning, the why, and how to create conditional statements, inverses, converses, and contrapositives. First, we have to start with logical reasoning. Who cares? Where does this ever come in? When will I ever use this? Why is it in math? Logic is actually a larger portion. In fact, in college, when I was an undergrad, I had to take a full course on just logic. If you ever talk to somebody about what is the chairness of a chair, that's where you wind up with a philosophical idea, and logic is part of that. Most of the mathematicians back in early Greece were not only mathematicians, but they were also philosophers. So there was a big logic is important because, well, think about it. Anything that you do, you're going to have to present it, your case, whether you become a lawyer and you want to defend someone or argue against someone. You have to present a logical argument. You can't just go on emotion. Also, if you want a raise, you have to present a case to your boss as to why you deserve that raise. If a engineer wants to get a job, they have to bid that job. They have to logically tell the company why they are the best engineering firm for that job. So it goes on and on. And as part of your discussion this week, what I'd like you to do is discuss, research and discuss where you might use logic in your everyday life or in your future career. And also, logic is simply, well, like Spock would say, it's logical. Conditional statements. Build logic, and what we're focusing on in geometry is the basics. So we're going to focus on conditional statements. Conditional statements are statements that are in an if-then form. For example, if I do my then I will pass the test. It's an then. There's a cause and effect. The if portion is what we call the hypothesis. The then portion is conclusion. And it's typically what comes after those words. Now be very careful on the fact that hypothesis in math means something very different than hypothesis in your science classes. So in math, we're talking hypothesis, the part after the if. In science, you're talking about hypothesis, educated guess. In math, we call an educated guess. That would be your conjecture. Think about your causes and your effects. If this happens, then this happens. So an example, all dogs go to heaven. That's just a normal statement. To put that in conditional format, we would say if an animal is a dog, then it goes to heaven. So notice there is that cause, an animal is a dog. The effect is it will go to heaven. What do we do? Okay, let's put these 4 statements into conditional format. So what you need to do is you need to pause the video right here, write these down on a piece of paper, and when you're ready, come back and we will see what those answers are. Okay, so you've had some time. Let's see what our answers would be. For number 1, it rains in the afternoon. If it is the afternoon, then it is raining. Now, there's the argument that you the other way. If it is raining, then it is the afternoon. A big piece with logic, can you defend yourself? But look for that cause and effect. Cause and effect. Since I passed my test, I can go out tonight. Look for keywords like since. Since is a because. So that is your cause. Your effect would be going out. So if I pass my test, then I can go out tonight. Mom goes to the store every Sunday. Again, just like it rains in the afternoons, if it is Sunday, then mom goes to the store. I walk to school because I missed the bus. Well, cause and effect. If I miss the bus, then school. Make sure you also know how to identify the hypothesis and the conclusion. It's going to come in key on the next slide. So, first statement, it is the afternoon is your hypothesis. It is raining is your conclusion. Okay. From our conditional statements, then we talk about inverse, converse, and contrapositive. The inverse. I like to think just say no. It's the negative of the hypothesis and the conclusion. Now, be very careful when we say negative. To negate something doesn't always mean that you're going to have a no or not in or any kind of negative word in your final statement. It just means we're doing the opposite here. So if my original statement is, if I study, then I will pass, my inverse statement is, do not study, then I will not pass. In the same breath, if it had said, if my original statement was, if I do not study, then I will not pass, my inverse statement would be, if I study, then I will pass. Okay? It's really about the opposite piece here. Okay, again, it's your turn. The original statement is, if I exercise, then I will lose weight. Pause. See if you can give me the inverse, and then come back. Okay, so what you probably found your inverse to be was, if I do not exercise, then I will not lose weight. Now, we're not worried about validity or truthfulness of these statements yet. We're just making the statement, making sure we can form the proper statement. From the inverse, well, we'll talk about the converse. The converse is the switch. It's the switching of the hypothesis and conclusion. The hypothesis now becomes the conclusion becomes the hypothesis. Let's use our same, if I study, then I will pass example. The converse statement would be, if I pass, then I study. Now, where most people do get this wrong is they switch the if and then with the whole statement. Remember, hypothesis is the part between the if and the then. The conclusion is between the then and the period. So it doesn't include those two words. Those two words are your identifiers. Again, your turn. Try it out. Same statement. If I exercise, I will lose weight. Your converse should have been, if I lose weight, then I exercise. Again, we're not worried about validity. We'll talk about counterexamples in just a minute. A little teaser for you. Contrapositive. It's a big, long word. If it's a big, long word, that means there's a lot to it. Well, with contrapositive, we're going to both switch it and negate it. It's the switching of the hypothesis and conclusion. So it actually involves doing both the inverse and the converse. An example, same one. If I study, then I will pass. Positive. If I do not pass, then I do not study. Okay, switch it and negate it. Again, this will happen where your contrapositive may be the opposite in negation of your original statement. So if in your original statement, if your original statement said something like, if I am not early, then your contrapositive would be, if I am not late, then I am early. Okay, notice that not both parts have to have a no or a not in them. Again, it's your turn. We're going to keep with the if I exercise, then I will lose weight. Give you a second and see how you do. Okay, for your contrapositive statement, you should have gotten, if I do not lose weight, then I do not exercise. Mostly a true statement. Okay, finally, what a counterexample is. A counterexample is an example that makes a statement false. Any statement that just makes it false. For example, and we're not necessarily talking about conditional statements. We don't have to be an if-then form. The statement, it rains every afternoon. Well, a counterexample to that, it didn't rain this afternoon. So a counterexample is just something to make not true. Everybody in this class is female. Well, no, Johnny is male. So he would be the counter. You can find counterexamples to most things, and we will be asking that throughout geometry. I hope this helped. There is an assignment and a quiz for you in this week. Good luck, and I will be talking to you.